Hey, today I wanted to discuss the Great Resignation and my thoughts on it. Yeah, this COVID pandemic just it really reshifted everything. But my whole thing is, if you're in an industry or you're in a job where you're not making ends meet and you feel like you're being exposed to the virus that's out there, yeah, like by all means, quit, but leave notice. Just like the job that you're working gave you a chance and put some level of trust in you to perform the job, you don't want to return the favor by just walking off and leaving that industry high and dry. Now, of course, the argument is, oh, well, businesses always look out for themselves. They don't look out for the people and everything. But this is why I am into just working, whatever it is. So I decided to just do a general search on homelessness and just scrolling through. Now, people can become homeless for different reasons. There could be a medical thing, death in the family, a divorce, drug issues. Those can be devastating. But what keeps me motivated to keep working and to keep saving, you have to save, is that far too many people are living paycheck to paycheck. If you don't put something away, you'll never have anything. You'll never have anything. You can't continue to go in every day and not save. This can happen to anybody. I think I'd like to share a story. I shared that on one of my other videos, but I remember a couple years ago, prior to the pandemic, I had a decent paying job. It was just a little bit too far. So I left my notice. I did the right thing. Left my notice and wasn't prepared. Although I had had a few interviews around that time, I figured I'm a highly skilled person and there's no way I can be out of work. Absolutely no way. I'm too skilled. So after about 2 weeks, I was like, wow, I'm surprised that I'm not working right now. Got a lot of bills. I didn't have things set up right. I think I used up most of my PTO. I didn't have much of a retirement because I was only at the previous company for, I believe, 3 years, I believe. And, I just felt, okay, this is just the growing pains. I'll just apply at a lot of jobs. Just keep applying, keep applying. But the one thing about applying is, especially when you're out of a job, the calls seem to come in less. When I was working, I was constantly getting called for jobs. The moment I was free, jobs weren't calling that much. So just imagine you wanting a job and nobody's calling you. It's a rough thing. So of course 2 weeks turned into 3 weeks. 3 weeks turned into 4 weeks, about a month. And then I got to this point where I was like, wow. Now, I had an eBay thing going, but the sales were slow. And the more product that I bought to put on the page, you can't control what eBay decides to show. So there are situations where people can have their listings hidden, or there's so many people that are listing items, it's hard to make consistent sales. So you can never use that as a full-time thing, at least for me. So the first month turned into 2 months. 2 months, no job. 2 months turned into 3. I was starting to get a little desperate. And I was like, what's happening here? What am I not doing right? 3 turned into 4. By the 5th month, it was pure desperation. So then I would get calls from labor forces, like, come do this manual labor job and everything. I don't think the last time I did some warehouse manufacturing or labor stuff was over 20 years ago. So, I felt like, okay, well, I keep up on the workout and stuff. Slim and trim, I can deal with it. And the first job they sent me to, I was so happy to just get hired. And this was at a Coke beer distributors. And the place, they had tons of beer and 6-pack cans, 6-pack bottles, 12-pack bottles, 12-pack cans, 24 packs. And they had machinery. They had the machinery to do the stuff, but it only did so much. So there was a forklift driver that would bring stuff by the pallets. And I was up on the second level. And they would stack the pallets over 6 feet. So I had to reach way above my head just to even pick up whatever was on the pallet. So I remember counting how many cases I picked up because it was like a production kind of setting. And I counted 50 different cases that I picked up in 10 minutes. Imagine a 9-hour day. So after the first shift, I was completely sore, head to toe, completely. I didn't put my body through that. Although I've worked out, when you work out, you do your push-ups, your sit-ups, your dips, your this, your that, whatever, curls, stuff like that. But it was almost like doing a burnout every hour. You're burning out every hour. You get to the point where you can't lift anymore. So what happens when you have a job that you need and you can't lift anymore? You're stuck, pretty much. So by the second shift, I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. I was so sore when I woke up, I couldn't barely move. But I needed to go in. So I went in the second shift, and I thought my body was just going to give out. But somehow I was able to get through another shift of 9 hours. And I was practically laying on the boxes then. And I couldn't do it. I could not do it. That was the worst thing. Having a job, knowing that you were provided funds when you were out, and then not able to continue the job. Worst feeling in the world. So I asked the agency to look for something else, because she always checked in with me anyway. She was like, let me know how your first day went. Let me know if you still like it. There's a lot of people, it's not for them. And I was one of the other one, I was like 2 days in. And then she found me some other type of work where we were unloading trucks. And at one point I kind of messed up my ACL. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? So I was just so, even though I've done the entrepreneurial thing for a little bit, I didn't have things set. So not having things in place, I wasn't prepared. At least prepared I thought I would be. And then I finally ended up getting a position. And that was the happiest I've ever been, So the whole reason for the story is like pre-pandemic, I'm highly skilled. And it was difficult for me to find work, 5 months. So imagine post-pandemic. And even though there's like 11 million open jobs, what type of jobs are open? What are the the educational requirements and everything? Because I have a bachelor's degree and everything, but what if they require a master's degree and stuff like that, or PhD? Like, those are jobs that I can't get. So my thing is, if you do have a position and you're not getting paid enough to sustain yourself, put in notice. Give the employer at least the benefit of the doubt and put in notice. But find something first. Don't put in notice and then leave and then expect whatever to happen will save you, whatever. Like, if you're working and you're literally maybe 10 hours away from this position, homelessness and everything like that, yeah, you're gonna have to find some other type of work, wherever it's at. But I just think that right now, yeah, this country's been through a lot with the whole pandemic. It's a different way of living. I've been working from home since the pandemic started. So that in itself was, I haven't really been out and about. And I think that's one of the benefits. I think eventually when we start going back in, it's going to be like a hybrid model and everything. And, it's just a lot to think about. But for now, you have to save. You have to save. I also take some small risk in crypto because it's the early stages. I'm not going to say, oh, well, get your finance together and everything, and in 4 years, then you can buy a little bit of crypto. No, get it now. Get your $20 or $30 in crypto now. While the price is so low, you can buy a lot. But you wait 3 or 4 years, you're going to miss out on stuff that is happening right now. So, anyways, that's my 2 cents on that. I hated to bring it to the extreme, but to those that are on the fence and they're like, okay, I'm one decision away from just quitting right now, and you don't want to burn your bridges, leave on good terms. You maybe never know if you need to call them back and everything. So, all right, stay tuned for more.